Hey, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan the game, and also the Rebel of YouTube Underground, and I'm back with that Battlefield 3, the gameplay that you guys love so much. But anyway, man, playing at close quarters, going in. It's not the full game. I have the full game recorded. Well, not the full game recorded, but I stopped recording and I recorded later on. And I will be using the last part of the gameplay for a commentary. It's going to look nice. You're going to see the score. I beasted. That's all I'm going to say. I tried to bounce it off the wall, kill yo with a nice little trick shot, but it ain't happened. But anyway, I said I was going to do a commentary on the little Forbes article. But then I said I don't care that much about it, and I'll do it sometime later. But today, I want to talk about something that people have been talking about recently because of the next-gen consoles. You know, the whole battle with the Xbox One, I almost said 360. The Xbox One and the PS4, because we're going to the next gen, and this is something that console fanboys didn't know anything about, and they still don't know anything about because I see it in the comment section all the time, especially on the Illuminati podcast. You know, when we mention this about PC, console fanboys get butthurt and they go, "We don't need this. We don't need. No one cared about this before." And it's frames per second, also known as FPS. So I'm going to make it clear for all the people that have no idea what FPS is, and I'm going to show it in this video. Now, when I show it 60 frames per second, because I want to show 30 frames per second what consoles get most of the time, it looks like what they're going to be getting on next-gen consoles also, from what we've been hearing from the info. You know, a lot of games have not been running 60 frames per second for that Xbox One and PS4. There's only been a few that said they will be able to do it, but we don't know yet. And from what I saw from Cookie Monster's video, that on PS4 was looking like it was even running at 30 frames per second. So that game isn't even that graphically amazing. And you know, most of the time when consoles first come out, like the Xbox 360 and PS3, you know, a lot of games run at 60 frames or close, and then they, you know, get slower as the games, you know, gets further in the years. Well, the console gets further in the years because, you know, they're pushing the hardware a lot more, so they're not able to keep up. But anyway, let's get this started. So what you're looking at right now is 30 frames per second. I'm playing this on the PC, but when you upload to YouTube, YouTube automatically compresses your file down to 30 frames per second. It will not render a video anything past 30 frames per second. So this is what it looks like on consoles pretty much when you're playing Battlefield 3. It doesn't look bad. I mean, you can still see what's going on. You know, it still looks okay. It's playable. It's not bad. But then when you take a look at this right here, which is 60 frames per second, now mind you, you're going to see a little bit of blurriness and all that stuff, but that's only because I have to manipulate the file to make it so YouTube makes it 60 frames per second, and it will cause a little bit of blurriness and shadow effect and all that stuff, but you don't see that when I'm actually playing the game. It's only because I had to render it in a weird way just to trick YouTube into thinking that it's 60 frames per second. Yeah, so if you take a look at it, you see it's a lot smoother, it moves a lot quicker, and it does help you when it comes down to gameplay because you don't see that little bit of lag that can screw you up, especially if you're playing something like a platformer type game. You know, when you have that smooth motion, it really helps out a lot better. It helps you with your aiming and everything. So now you are able to get this with a lower end graphics card on the PC. You can do it with a $200 card and turn the graphics down to what the console. I thought that was somebody on the other team. But turn it down to the graphics that, you know, consoles use, and you probably could still get about 60 to 50 frames per second on Battlefield 3. I'm not saying Battlefield 4 because they did up it on that, so you probably won't be able to do it for that. But you know, you get a $300 card, you probably can do it on Battlefield 4 with the current gen console graphics, though, not what you're going to see for next gen. So with a high-end graphics card, you know, you're definitely going to get 60 frames per second. You're going to get smoother textures with anti-aliasing, so you don't see the little jagged lines and flickering all on the screen and none of that, because I'm playing with everything maxed out. So yeah, this is why we talk about that, man. I mean, we don't, like, people think we hate consoles. We don't hate consoles. We all came from consoles. Me, Modern War Negro, JG, you know, we all came from consoles. T-Fly's looking to get into PC gaming. A lot of people, man, like, we all came from console gaming, bro. Like, we're not just hating on console. I mean, we just see that PC is better. It's not as expensive as what people try to make it is. You don't have to spend that $1,000 to get a good PC. We always say this. You won't get the better graphics that we get, like I get, and a lot of Horty will get, but you don't have to do it. Now, Now, if you guys can't tell the difference, I'm going to actually put both of the videos together in a split screen, and one's going to be 60 frames per second, one's going to be 30 frames per second. You're going to easily see the difference when they're both running next to each other. So take a look at this. Now, if YouTube rendered this correctly, you should be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so the one on the left is 30 frames per second. This is what consoles normally get. As you can see, if you play Battlefield on the consoles, this is what you would normally see. On the right side is what you get on the PC when you have a, well, with these graphics settings I have it set to. If you have a high-end PC, like I said, you can turn it down to the graphics of the Xbox 360 and PS4 and still get 60 frames per second if you have a pretty decent card. My 580 could definitely do it with it set to the Xbox 360 and PS4 graphics compatibility. Actually, it did it while it was better. So yeah, so a decent card around 300, 200 bucks could do it on Battlefield 3. But as you can see, it looks way more playable, enjoyable on the right side. Now, games like Call of Duty on the consoles does get 60 frames per second. It does get 60 frames. That's why the graphics don't look as good as Battlefield. But they were smart by doing that to make sure the game gets a max of 60 frames per second. They're going to do the same thing for next-gen consoles. So I'm pretty sure that Call of Duty at 1080p is going to be running at 60 frames on the consoles. But Battlefield on the Xbox One is going to be running, I heard, at 30, and on PS4 it's going to be running 60 at 720p. So you will be able to see that on the consoles or next gen, but only at 720p. I'm running both of these at 1080p, so it is just a little bit sharper than what you would get with 720p. Dang, killed me out. I'm a little upset. But that's all I want to show, man. Oh, my sinuses, man. I just woke up and had the fan on me, so my nose is like down at the moment. But yeah, man. Like I said, you will see the rest of this gameplay when I upload another commentary and use it one of these days. But I just want to give you guys an idea what the difference between frames per second is. So just look at the left one and look at the right one, and use your peripheral vision and stare directly in the middle, and you can see the one on the right, it moves a lot better than the one that's on the left side. So yeah, it's not, like I said, it's, if you don't care about that thing, man, look, then that's all good with you. But me, I like my games moving at 60 frames per second. It just makes everything look a lot better and move better. It's like the newer televisions, the HD televisions, man. You got televisions out there that have clear motion, which makes the movies move. It moves like you're just watching it through a fishbowl or something, bro. Like, you have those televisions normally run 120 hertz refresh rate or 240 hertz refresh rate, which are dual processors. So those televisions are amazing. I can't wait to get one. But yeah, man, I just like that smooth transition and moving that you know, higher frames per second give you. So, and that's what frames per second is, man. It's just a refresh rate. What is it? Let me see. Frame rate is the frequency at which an imaging device produces unique consecutive images called frames. The term applies equally well to film, video cameras, computer and graphics, and motion capture systems. So that's what it is. To me, it makes gaming a lot better. To you, it may not, but you might just be lying to yourself. But anyway, this conference coming to an end. Hope you guys got a lot of good information on what frames per second is, and why we always talk about it, and why we always talk about the best, you know, we're trying to get the best out of it, which is 60 frames per second. Yet the human eye can't see more than really 60 frames per second, so there's really no need to go higher unless you want to just go overboard. But you're only going to notice 60 frames as a human being. So yeah, but this is your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan Gaming, and I'm gone.